Let the record show that we've
Keep this one.
returned back to regular session at 6:12. No action was taken, and we'll move on with our regular meeting. Wade, do you want to continue on?
Certainly. Let's go ahead and we'll jump right in with the necklace lighting. That is on the other such matters, agenda item E2, page 8 on the, it's a separate package. Oh, at page 8, but it's on the, actually in page 1 position. Just as a quick description here, the authority solicited proposals.
I get 2 minutes.
We don't have them.
Yeah, I don't have one.
Another assessment.
There, paper.
I like to hire her to come over here party.
Is this Atlantic testing you're doing?
No, this
No,
is
wait.
Wendell Desher, architects, engineers.
Page 8.
Who got there?
Wendell Desher.
It's not this one, is it?
No,
No, I got the wrong one.
that's the one that has the.
I got 2 page 8.
It's the one that has the.
You had this, Sam. And 2 page
I get them all, no, I'm talking about the proposals that we came in and looked at.
We have that item?
That's just one of them. That's not the right one. They're up on my desk.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Yeah, this is the facilities committee.
When I seen the resolution, you got your death, now you're gone. You read that out next week. We'll be sitting out in the parking lot, in the back of the truck.
It's not the same one? Yeah.
Thank you. I think I have it from facilities.
Okay, this is a matter that came up from the Facilities Committee for discussion. It's regarding approval of a contract with Wendell Desher Architects and Engineers. And what this is for the bridge necklace lighting project. In our capital plan, we have a bridge necklace lighting project, which basically lights the sections of the cable at a high level and kind of looks like a necklace, for lack of a better term. On the photo behind you on the wall, what it would do is it would come up the cable across the towers, down the cable, in between the spans, and down the other side. The cost of the engineering for the LED lights on the Ogdensburg Prescott International Bridge would be $29,600. This was determined through the results of a request for proposal. Four proposals were received, and as a result, that's the $29,600 you see before you.
Mr. Chairman, can I speak on the resolution now, or do you want me to wait?
I'll wait until next week. No, go ahead, Fred, I'm sorry.
We moved this in the Facilities Committee to bring it to the full board. There's quite a bit of discussion in there, and of course, I was the one discussing it. And it's to do this engineer study of $29,600. That's only a study to tell us what it's going to cost us. The rough numbers, we're figuring around $300,000 probably to do this. And my question was to the chairman and stuff, maybe we should table this until we complete all of the construction on the bridge and get it done, rather than to invest in an engineer study at this time. Just kind of wait to see where we are going, because this is kind of like the final touches for the bridge. You know, I guess it's just something to make our bridge look better, and maybe different things like that. But with all the tight things that's out there in the budgets and trying to get money for this and get money for that, I just don't see us at this time spending the $29,600 for an engineer study that I think is should be another 2 or 3 years down the road until we complete all our construction on the bridge. Right now, we put all new lighting on our bridge. It's all brand new guardrails, new everything. I just don't think this resolution should move forward at this time. But I want the record to show that I supported before, when the budget was going on, to putting money in there for this type of project. That doesn't say I was going to approve the project at this time. So I'm just saying that I think it's something that could be put on hold till we get our approaches done, and then when that's done, maybe we should look at this lighting and see just what it's going to cost us, because whatever we put out there is going to be high tech because of the wind out there and stuff like that. So that's my concern on this $30,000 that we're going to spend for an engineer study.
Well, I'll speak on the reverse side, and I can support your thinking also, Fred. Same thoughts, and my thoughts are a little bit different. My thoughts are We're upgrading the toll booth, we upgraded the entrance, we upgraded the bridge. We're gonna have a new LED screen out here, you know, coming in. All those type of things are investments of who you are and what you represent, whatever. This project, to me, is a modernization effect of what the bridge is. And you look at other bridges in other areas, the modernization effect is, it's not just a piece of steel out there with some lights on it. It has an aesthetic visual effect that is pleasing to whatever you want to be. So I really support the idea of doing this. The cost and the estimate was much, much lower than we ever thought it was going to be for $29,000, much, much lower than we thought. If you wait, I know how costs are. That figure may be 3-4 times that figure 3-4 years later. When is the right time? Sometimes when you do budgets, whatever, budgets tell you if you waited too long or you waited at the right time. I draw some thoughts of budgets. I'll even use Doug's school district a while back when they did a project, and they waited. And they waited for the bids the next year, so a project went for $3 or $4 billion, ended up being 7 a couple of years later, whatever. So if the fancy of the board and the fancy of what we're really trying to project, of modernizing our bridge, making a statement of who we are, I think the time is now. We will find out from this $29,000 if it is feasible, if it is realistic, if it is the right thing that we should do or not to do. So I mean, that's part of your investment to say the timing is now. So that's the way I feel about it. That's the way I feel about it. You know, do you want to make a statement or do you not want to make a statement? Costs, well, you'll never, you can always say, I can never afford it, you know, because you always budgets, that's the way budgets work. You put a line, you draw it, and you can't go past it. So I think the timing is right, and I support this.
Personally, I think it's one of the neatest projects and nicest thoughts that we've had over the years for, you know, aesthetic value for the bridge and whatever. So when the time of day comes for this project to go through, I'm going to be 100% behind it. Now, I have to go backwards and go back to the last special meeting and restate my position. And my position at that time was the most important thing for us to get done is the access road, regardless if we reinvested everything that we made on the access road, because at that particular point, we would make ourselves a more viable earner in the future to do other things. So as a board member, I have to tell you that at that particular time I said there were other things that I saw in the budget that I would move to the access road if we couldn't get funds. This may have been one of them. But my real problem right now, and as I say, I'm going to support this project somewhere down the road because I truly believe where we're going is going to open up the funds for us to do this and maybe even do a better job with it. But I have a hard time going around and asking people for money for an access road and then spending $30,000 on something that is aesthetic, which doesn't mean that I'm against the project. It just means at this particular point, I can't support the study based on what my position was last meeting, that we need to take all the resources that we have available and put them into the access road. And when that opens up, and with all the other things that are going, I just think this is an absolutely wonderful idea. I would just like, we might only have to put it on hold for 3 months or whatever, till we see ourselves clear of where we're going for our other funding. But I would just like to table it until we just have a better handle on what the funding for the access road is. But I for one, haven't even had any conversation with anybody on this. I wasn't at the facilities committee. I just have a little bit of trouble with it today, saying, let's spend this money and let's ask for some more over here. I'm struggling with that.
Hey, Steve, did you say you were gonna, are you making a motion to table?
Myself, I would make a motion to table it, but I want to hear other people's opinions so that I know, I'm just speaking for myself.
So you got two motions on the floor, so.
Yeah, I think what, I'd like to interject, and I think Steve needs a little input here, remember, because he went out after the engineers and, you know, marketed this, whatever, what we're gonna do and want to do. And obviously, I mean, some of these things can be done quicker than we think, and some things are slower than we think. And I guess, Steve, what you want to say is, if we had the engineer and he designed it, and we had, I'm just saying, it was money that we allocated was sufficient, we can provide the labor, we can do all the type of things that are really required at this point in time.
Yeah,
And, okay, so that's a key part. Our people are right now able to do, I mean, within the year or so, whatever we want to be.
the way I set this up was that we'd get the engineering and basically they'd give us the specs and the prints and guide us through with the drawing. The electrical part, we'd probably have to go out for a bid with, but we felt that, based on the kind of the component nature of all that, given maybe a month or two of the bridge cruise time, we could actually install that, and we'd buy the fixtures, that type of thing. That's kind of how I was asked by the chairman just to kind of, if we could set it up that way, and we feel that would be some savings, but that's just to let you know some background on how we set that up.
Taking that train of thought, we don't have the people that's capable of doing a project like this. This thing, after you get this engineer study back, you're talking about $300,000 or maybe more. And you're gonna have electrical conduit, you gotta have a lot of things done by what, I don't think, you know, personally.
No, you're right, Fred, on the electrical part, and I don't know what that could be $100,000.
That's exactly right.
But as far as like,
You know, to spend money like this, then we can't do the project anyways. We're gonna have to go out and get grant money and everything else. A fresh look at this would maybe be looking for some type of grant money for several things that we need here at the authority. One is our walkway needs lighting,
right,
and our bridge needs lighting. Well, maybe we should be looking at some type of grants for that. And then if we do get a grant for that, then you can carve out the engineering money out of that grant and do the project. But to put us in a position where we get a study, then we're gonna sit on the study because we don't have the money, that's still gonna continue to grow. His engineer study is only gonna be good for so long anyways. We don't have this kind of money. I mean, even though we have a line item in the budget that we approve, we don't need to spend that line item of money if we don't need it. This is unnecessary at this time. Our economy's bad. We've got a beautiful bridge that's lit up on both ends. We need to get the money for the bridge, not to be decorating the bridge. And that's my philosophy on it right now. This resolution shouldn't be passed at this time.
Well, to jump off of what you said, if we did get the study now and we weren't able to implement it or get the funding for it for a year or two with lighting and things, there may be new technology that study may not.
Well, this is the new technology.
But I'm saying even in two, you know, that kind of stuff does change, and
Well,
I'm just thinking if we don't get it for a few years, that
Well,
that study, the specs that
Yeah,
they
you make
make
a good
now
point.
may
Right.
not be relevant to
We may feel
what's
it's-
available then.
yeah.
Exactly.
Well, that's why you hire this person, because they know it's up to date. I mean, we got people here from Clarkson, we got people here in the port, I mean, that know exactly what's out there. They know all that type of thing. My motion is this, my thought is this, it's not negative about anybody else, whatever, but I really think if you don't move, you're not gonna get anything done, it's not gonna happen. So if even it's important to you enough, aesthetically, whatever, you wanna move and you know, join in with the whole process, with the LED light screen out here, and the new toll booth and things, whatever, you know, can we live with it, or live without it? Sure we can, sure you can, you can have status quo, whatever, but I really think if you really wanna make a statement about, what your bridge really means to you. And I read reports on Mackinac and the Ben Franklin Bridge and all these bridges, whatever, and those agencies, that's what they did. That's what they breathed. They wanted to breathe life into the community. They breathed life into the people who use the bridge, and that's what they enjoyed. So, I mean, so you're asking for a customer base, whatever, so we go over to the bridge and say, hey, there's the Ogdensburg Bridge. That's really neat. I mean, that's when I went to Mackinac Bridge, he said, you gotta go see it. You gotta go see it. So, I mean, to me, I didn't have to go see it, I didn't wanna go over it, but I did. I thought it was wonderful. So either you make a statement of what you wanna do and, stay status quo, or you say, listen, let's entertain this engineer, let's hear what he has to say, let's hear what it is gonna be. The worst that could happen is if you spent the $29,000, you got all the work done.
That's
Right?
not
If you
true.
wait, hang on, Fred. All right, if you know what the process is, and what all the type of things, and what he's gonna do for what it is. And if you don't wanna do it for 6 months or a year, or whatever you wanna be, at least you got that work done for a low price. I mean, that's a low price, I'm telling you, if you know what the other estimates were. But that's the board's prerogative of what you wish to do. If I'm the lone warrior, I'm the lone warrior, that's my thinking.
I'm just going to restate my position to make sure that I'm fully understood. I'm 100% behind this project. I am not ready to spend $30,000 on the engineering before we have the funding for the access road to the port. And we will know where we are on that in 2 months or whatever. And I can't imagine that the engineering amount in another 2 months or 3 months is going to go up a significant amount. And even if it's only, or it goes up 10%, we're only talking about a couple $1,000s. So I'm thinking that I'm not against this. I would just like to see us delay this and bring it back when we have a better feeling for what our costs are going to be in other projects and where we sit with it. 'Cause I can't, in my own mind, mine is only $1.00 thing. Ask someone to fund my road while I go out and do a study to spend money over here. I can't do it at this point. But in June, once all those things are in place, knowing full well that we're going to earn money with what we did with the road, somewhere down the, and use that money to pay off that
You wanna make a
project.
motion to table to the June meeting?
I would like to just table it for a couple months, yes.
All right, let's table to the June meeting.
Well,
But I didn't understand, you said there's a motion on the floor.
A motion on the
No.
floor, I thought you made a motion.
No one made a
No.
motion.
No, no
it's,
motion.
it's open.
If he made a motion to table, you gotta ask for
Well-
a second. And then that takes precedence.
It was,
You wanna make a motion?
as the chairman for the committee, I was discussing the issue. I haven't let that go yet. I was discussing what this cost is that I see, and I'm trying to explain how this cost fits into the picture
Right, but
here.
you stopped, and the discussion moved on, so that's where
Well-
that Sergeant Harmon
Oh,
saying.
okay,
you-
but we never made a motion.
No
No.
motion's out there.
No, there's
There's
no
no,
motion.
there's no motion. We may have
Yeah.
discussed when we weren't supposed to or whatever, but there's
No,
no
that's
motion
fine.
on
Do you
the
wanna make a
floor.
motion?
I would like to make a motion that we table this till the June meeting.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second? Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 No.
Alright,
Late aye.
caught me off guard.
Okay. Okay, let's move on to the next
You know,
one.
when you
Mr.
get,
Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I heard various members answering at various times. Did you get the?
do a roll call vote, Mr. Chairman.
Fred opposed.
Division of the House, a roll call vote.
For a table.
Roll call
Aye.
vote to
Yes.
table. Okay, we start with
Mr.
Me this
Barlow.
time.
Mr. Barlow.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Loeffler.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, let's move on to the next one. That help you?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
I wasn't clear on how
All
that
right.
came out. Thank you. Next item up would be on page 27 of the packet.
Which back of this one? Another one?
This is Atlantic Testing.
I
No,
saw-
we
saw
don't.
the last-
This is a packet we had, facilities.
Right, that was, okay, that's that one. Okay,
Was a last minute addition,
okay.
and that came up through the Facilities Committee. On page 27.
What?
It's from the facilities committee.
It's in here?
No, the facilities.
Yeah, there's facilities.
Too much paper going around here.
All right,
We teach.
all right.
Teachers can't get them out.
This is what I got on this one too.
As with any project, there are multiple contracts that need to be executed. With the port access road, there is the contractor, which has been approved. There's the engineer that has been approved. There's a need for construction and inspection, which has not been approved. There is a need for QA, QC testing, basically quality control testing. That is the agreement with Atlantic Testing that you see before you. This is for the port access road. Cost not to exceed $25,000. And the reason this is coming up, DOT does not have the ability to perform these services, and we needed to find another alternative for this. And the reason why this was not competitively bid was given the time frame involved and the need for professional services.
So the actual reason for this wasn't put out for bid was because it's a professional service.
It's a professional service in the time frame of the port access road. It's a dual, there's a dual purpose there.
I make the motion.
You have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? Okay, you need to abstain?
I have to abstain.
Yeah,
The president CEO happens to be my sister. So.
okay. All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye?
Okay,
That was easy.
next
Spend
item.
that 25,000.
That's necessary.
Okay, just checking.
That was,
So you're listening.
yeah.
Okay, the next item is agenda item E1, separate sheet. This deals with approval of insurance. I believe it was just passed out.
Now, this is an addendum to our policy that we have in place with this company, right?
That's correct.
For this is exclusively for coverage of the windmill project?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. As Mr. Carter mentioned, that's the reason for this insurance, additional insurance, is the wind project that we'll talk about next year. But this is with Haler, Fryer, and Kuhn, and the term would be April 4th, 2012 through April 30th, 2012.
No, wait a minute. Say that again?
This is an important distinction. Our policy expires April 30th, 2012. This will carry over into the new policy.
Just for your information, the $24,000 will not be charged to us. Only this bumper chute, which will extend. The bumper chute is like an umbrella. It's an old term for an umbrella around ports. But
Is
the
that coming up for renewal?
Yes.
but the other
This always comes up for renewal. I'm sorry, go ahead.
but the other is put in place at this time because we need to.
Well, what happens if we didn't continue with that?
Did you get a refund of your premium?
No, but I mean, they're coming up for renewal, you're
Right.
saying?
Yes.
So what happens if we put that out for bid and they're not the ones?
We don't.
So this should be a separate policy then, right?
It costs more.
Well,
It'll cost a lot more.
You'll notice that it says the bumper chute is in full effect and will endorse the coverage from April 4th through April 30th. The additional premium will be billed on April 30th, the renewal date.
Do we need
So
them
it's
till
only
April
the
30th?
bumper chute.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, go ahead, finish up.
It's only the bumper chute that's going on now. And that's because there's activity related to this going on now.
Oh, so all the
Yes.
rehab work or whatever
Yes.
you're doing, so
Mhm.
that makes sense. But wouldn't that be covered without that? Because that's just
The
customary
bumpers,
work?
yeah, well, the bumper chute raises our limit from 1 million to 5 million.
This is where, when we ask more questions about our insurance, just as we did on the bridge policy, we learn more and we learn what we're not covered for. One of the things that we were not covered for previously is the umbrella did not cover the green terminal. Now, that's an important distinction when you're handling windmill components, and hence the need for the additional coverage.
I was looking at my back notes, and this is something to do with the bridge and whatever type of thing. Terrorist attacks. Okay? Where does that fit in this? I mean, somebody, okay, somebody's against this project, whatever, sabotage, whatever you wanna be. Where is that covered?
Well, that would be under vandalism, wouldn't it? The event,
Yeah,
vandalism.
I'm not certain. I don't know whether
I mean,
terrorism is, could even be,
no,
not even.
I'm serious,
don't know.
because I saw
be an
something
act
from
of
the
war?
governor, something from the governor on the bridge and type of things, whatever, you know, certain things are covered for terrorist attack. I mean, this is the society we live in, folks, but I'm,
Yeah,
You
The
know what I'm
bridge,
saying?
the bridge is a target, you're talking the marine terminal.
This is marine-
well, I'm just saying, it's terrorist attacks, whatever it wanna be. I mean, yes,
Did we
Tom.
cover that in
I
our
thought
last
we did.
insurance
On the
policy?
bridge, yes.
Yeah.
On the
On
bridge.
the
On the bridge.
The bridge,
Yeah,
yes.
the bridge.
But I'm saying, here we are. I guess you have to define really what is a terrorist attack versus what is vandalism, whatever. I think,
Sure.
I mean, I don't, nobody's gonna steal these things, I can tell you that.
One of the
but-
things that I guess that we
Huh?
have to consider is the fact that the cost of the value of replacing the bridge versus the cost of the value of redoing whatever we would have to do on the access road aren't even comparable. Well, one's just a huge, huge, huge amount. The other would be an expense certainly, one that we could recover from perhaps, you know, or
Yeah.
more likely to be able to.
Well, the liability is one thing, you know,
Right,
the
so I'm
vandalism,
sure
whatever it
that
may be.
there's some sort of coverage in terms of vandalism and that type of thing for our regular facilities. I mean, the bridge access road would be just one. Think of all the other types of things that we have that the same thing could happen to, or could have happened to.
Yeah, whatever.
Should we spell that out? Is that relevant?
But it's a good thing.
Mhm.
Just
Yeah.
follow
In
up.
terms of that answers that answers the
Uh,
question.
Yeah,
It
the,
covers.
right, the risk of loss within this contract requires that we have insurance, commercial general liability of $1 million per occurrence, $2 million aggregate, products completed, operations limit of $1 million, personal and advertising injury limit of $1 million, riggers insurance of $2 million, excess liability of $5 million, automotive of $1 million, and workers' comp at the statutory limits. The employer's liability and stopgap insurance not less than $1 million each accident. So that's what this is covering.
And those
is-
insurance requirements that are part of the wind project that we'll talk about next trigger the needs for this additional cost.
What happens when that's loaded onto the transport? Once it's on there,
And last
our
time
liability
is gone.
is over.
Right,
They go
that's
up the
correct.
road, obviously once they leave there, go up that road and go on out, our liability's over.
Our liability is over because this contract says that they do the lashing on their trucks, they're responsible for
So
that.
once they're on that truck, but unless there's some, yeah, okay.
Mhm.
That's a big part of it,
Yes.
big part of it.
And with the new rig, with the riggers gonna be hired independently, is it Jan?
Yes, crane
So,
operators
crane
are
operators.
not authority personnel, are
Yeah.
not longshoremen.
They're gonna be covered by, probably mega liability policy also.
But we need riggers because we have people hooking up cables and so on.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, we need this, there's no question about it.
So this seems that this insurance is gonna be under Travelers Ocean Marine
Yes.
coverage, right?
Mhm.
Well, the only thing I can say is, I would move the resolution because we've gotta have this insurance. And it's a very good insurance company. And I think you got it pretty well covered there.
I second that.
Is there a second? Any questions, comments?
No, we beat it up pretty good.
Yeah, we did. Oh, we always do, we get a late call in there, though. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I get so many resolutions, I don't know, I'll go home
Sorry,
tonight, I'm gonna
right.
dream all night about them.
Okay, and
I
last
hope
but,
you can do better than that, Fred.
Oh my.
last but not least.
Sam, you say we look better on TV now?
Oh my God.
I gotta watch it, I've never watched it. What channel's it on?
We watch. What do you got next week?
Yeah.
Coming around will be the new wind project resolution.
Oh my God, here's another one.
The reason we're here.
You get another whole meeting.
I swear this is it.
I know,
This is an
Donald.
entertaining place to be tonight.
I know it, buddy. I wouldn't come here if it wasn't for you. You know, you being a Republican, me being a Democrat, we both might change to the independent party.
Could you have that, zoomed in?
It's already there. It's already there.
It can be deleted from the iPad. Oh, that's a good idea too.
I had to laugh the other day when I seen Sarah Hale. I
Suggesting
said
you send Frederick to move
to my
the-
wife, I jumped up. I said, get out.
About 15,000.
Go to your garage.
What's her name? Chiropractor, Angela.
Oh, Angie, yeah.
She can dress up to look exactly like.
Oh, can she?
Yeah.
I couldn't go there anymore. I went there years ago. I had a back was out. I went there years ago. And the wife says, "How's your back?" I says, "Feels good. I gotta go back every other day." She said, "Why is he want you back every other day?" I said, "Oh, hell."
Yeah, I know.
She said, "No, you're not going back."
Go to the other guy, governor, that really wants you
As
out.
long as they maybe make some alternative plan.
Yeah, that spells it out.
Okay. All right, wait, go ahead.
Okay. Agenda item C2, approval of cargo handling logistics with Transera International Logistics Limited. This is a port cargo handling agreement for wind turbines for not one, but two projects. Staff has done a great job in the negotiations here. Very, very proud of the team in this regard. This is for the Marble River Wind Project in Cherubusco, New York, and possibly the Green Mountain Power Project in Lowell, Vermont. The company's name is Transera International Logistics Limited. The term of the agreement would be from April 4th, 2012 through December 31st, 2012. The details are provided in Schedule A, which you've reviewed in the executive session. It's expected to bring substantial increases in ship traffic and employment to the port and surrounding area, as I've previously discussed. According to the terms in Schedule A, all the authority labor is to be provided for this project per the terms of the authority's international longshoremen, local and international agreements that are currently in force.
I would make the motion to approve this resolution as presented here.
I'll second.
I think I'd like to make a comment, I mean, before we resolve that, and because there's so much that is involved in this project, and it goes back to our access road and the commitment of the Port Authority to make this happen. Because we could have passed on this without the road, we really could have. We really believe that everything is needed here. The jobs are needed here, the work is needed, and it's an attitude of this Port Authority board that we want action. We want things that happen here. And I think Wade and our team here is, and John and Steve and everybody who's involved, and Fred, I don't leave all the names out, but made a real strong commitment. And I said that previously, whatever the difficulty of the things that made this project happen, they had to do a lot of work behind the scenes. And I think it says a lot about the company they're working with. They're very professional, they're very articulate in the way things are done, and we have to deliver the same way, and we will. You have a comment you want to make, or you all set?
No, I'm
Okay.
all set.
All right, we have I think this is important to make a roll call vote with this one too, right? Yes, Steve?
Yeah, and before the roll call vote, very well spoken, everything you said, and I don't want to usurp somebody else's power, but I just have to say that I am so proud of you guys for putting together a package of this sort, because the impact on the town, it's not just the impact on the Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority, but the impact that it has on the town and the community and all the jobs that it brings. And you know, when a guy like John's been working on something for 5 years, you can give that up pretty quickly and pretty easily. And I know, Wade, you stepped in, Steve and Fred and everybody else. I just want to say, earlier you said, where's your applause? Well, my applause is right here. Thank you very much, and I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And
Great
thank the
job.
rest of the board.
We still don't have any hats to throw in.
I'm saving mine for the
Get right
Rangers
on
hat
that.
tricks and
All
the
right.
Stanley Cup.
Buy those plastic hats, they don't
Yeah.
cost much.
Tremendous. Roll call vote starts with Doug this time?
Doug this time.
Doug?
Mr. Lamasha?
Yes.
Mr. Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Breen?
Yes.
Mr. Hooper?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Barlow?
Okay. Thank you very much. All right, where are we next, Wayne? Are we
Okay,
ready
that
to-
concludes the regular business of
Okay,
the
so-
Ogdensburg Bridge and Port
Uh,
Authority.
Okay, we
Well,
need-
there is a need for a border station.
Wait just
What's
a minute, Mr. Chairman.
Doug has it.
Wait a minute, Frank, what you got?
Barton and LaJudas, did you actually vote on that?
Yeah, we've been at
Yeah.
it today.
Yes,
No, no, order.
we took that out of order.
Put that in order so you can
We
leave.
need to do a short.
But-
Recess.
the hiring of the.
No, they didn't.
What about
We have one left.
We got one left, right?
C?
No, there was
D1.
no, that action is withdrawn from the agenda, as those customers are not renewing.
You wanna do
All right.
that after this?
Okay, then
Can I-
what about the one on the race course?
The race.
Yeah, can we
I
go
can't
back to-
remember.
Sorry, folks, I can't hear you.
All right, hold it, yes, let's, no sideboards, here we go, Wayne, what do you got?
I need some direction where you wanna go.
All right, here's what I got. I think we need to, I don't think, we need to go in executive session with no action needed. We'll speak to a couple things on, that we need to talk about, personnel.
Yeah, it's a personnel
It's a
issue.
personnel issue, and then we'll come back and we'll do the border station meeting and adjourn from the regular set. Yes, Doug?
Before we go into executive session, Mr. Chairman, can we go back to the unfinished business for
We can?
1 second? With the request from Kim Richards concerning boat race,
Yes.
we've got this windmill project, and it's gonna tie that area up. Why are we continuing to put this off and not let her know either one way or the other?
Well, that's not correct. We're not putting it off. Actually, we're working with them to see if we can do both.
Oh,
We
okay.
need to figure out the
All right,
timing of the
that's
project,
good.
and that's why it
Yeah.
keeps, it's sitting there
Okay.
under unfinished business.
All right, well, I was just
That's-
concerned with the Wall Street area and the area that they're gonna,
The
that's
timing
right.
of when you
Yeah.
see by the time you get
Yeah.
down there, it's,
Yeah, okay.
we're gonna definitely need that space, it's just a matter of what,
Yeah, all right,
Good question.
Yeah,
okay.
thanks, Doug, for that. Any other comments? Okay, let's have a motion to adjourn the executive session. Need a second?
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Second by Steve. All those in favor, signify aye.
All right.
Okay, we'll come back.